Wow. So it is. A.O.C. Who? Who are you? Well, we're going to go on to the Wikipedia and we're going to find out a little bit about this little girl. So it says that she is a U.S. representative for the New York 14th Congressional District since 2019. What I have seen from her is she is, says here she was born October 13th, 1989. She's still in diapers. I mean, really. I mean, this girl hasn't even, I think somebody ought to take the binky out of her mouth and pat her on the ass a little bit because she's obviously a little bit adolescent. She's coming in here telling us how to run our country. She's definitely some sort of a young socialist or something. I don't know. I mean, she's belongs to the Democratic Party, but I don't really know if she's a true Democrat because a lot of her female friends are all kind of related to a Democratic socialist, and that's a little scary. You know, she advocates for progressiveness and the Green New Deal and abolishing the U.S. immigration and custom enforcement. She's kind of a naughty girl. She was born into a Catholic family, but in the Bronx, which is nothing to brag about. In New York City, I'm sure there's some nice areas down there, but I've been down there, and all the areas I've ever seen were pretty rough territory. I don't really know. I mean, it appears to me that this young lady is way in over her head. I mean, says she's a graduate from high school, enrolled in the Boston University. Her dad died of lung cancer. I mean, hey, we've all been there. We've all done that, you know. I really don't know why she acts the way she does. I guess she never really lived in a rural area with normal folk. A lot of the things that she's trying to push comes from, I think, from Bernie Sanders. I mean, a lot of that stuff is kind of Bernie Sanders talk. And you might think Bernie is some great hero, but up here in New England, he became senator, and I'll tell you that if the right person comes along, they'll knock him off that seat. He really hasn't done anything for Vermont except for brag a lot of baloney. I mean, then I heard her rambling on about making a list of people. Well, little girl, you better think twice before you start threatening people with putting them on a list, because that's more likely going to come back and bite you. I mean, you don't do that to people just because you don't like their beliefs or like who they voted for or whatever. You know, if you go do that, you're going to find yourself in a situation somewhere down the road where you're going to be put on people's list. And I don't think you really want to do that. You want to reconsider what you're doing there, young lady. You know, I'm here looking at your picture here, and, you know, you're an attractive young woman, but you're biting off more than you chew. You're trying to be too smart. You're trying to change stuff that you know, you're really going to hurt a lot of people. I mean, I understand you think that you're probably going to help somebody, or you're going to help them poor, or you're going to help these people. But what you really need to be doing is helping them adapt to the American ways. And you brought up evidently you were brought up in a pretty good home. It's a Catholic home. You got to be. You know, you must have some morals and values. Of some sort. I would think. I don't know. Um, uh, ever since she came on the scene, she's been kind of a thorn in the Democrats' side. Um, and she's kind of taken them down the wrong path. You know, in a lot of ways, I used to be a Democrat years ago, but a lot of that has changed over the years because of people like her and this defund the police, and you know, you got to really think sensible here because the whole country here, America, is kind of based on a certain type of value. That's why it's so strong. And Bernie, I used to like him, but now I see more. He's came out more on this socialism thing, and then we find out things that he's been tight with Russia along there. I kind of wonder what's going on there. He was a normal guy until he started making big money, and then he got 2, 3 homes, and now he's changed his view a little bit. He's kind of a dangerous character for the country too. You know, um, another little thing here I see that she's involved in some um, civil rights organizations. There's nothing wrong with that. Let's move on. And Black Lives Matter. Now you got to be kind of careful with some of that. I understand that there's some people that have some issues with the police. It's been going on for years and years and years. But when it comes right down to it, um, if you go poke your finger in the cop's face and you grab their guns or you fight with them, you're going to get hurt, if not killed. Even white guys. I've seen it happen. I've never seen anybody get killed, but I have seen white men fight with the police, and they usually get their ass beat. That's just the way it is. So some of this whole Black Lives Matter thing needs to be looked at a little bit more closely within the party of the Democrats, and they need to get off this socialism kick and get back down to basics. They lost a lot of the working man type people that they have ran from the party, and it's because this whole, if anybody has done any history, obviously she has not, because if she'd done her history, she would think twice about promoting socialism the way she does. And same with Bernie. You think it's all right to stand in a food line and get food? Oh, it's a wonderful thing, he says. But no, it is not a wonderful thing. You don't get to pick what you get for food. It's not like the supermarket. You go down and get what you want. They give you what they give you, and it's basically the scraps that nobody else wants. So you need to really take into consideration what this country means and what it is for other people. I mean, I'm looking here on some of the things that are wrote up about her. Not all that great stuff, really. I mean, yeah, the news people, the Times and New York Times and the Guardian and all these reporter things are really kind of you got some of these news organizations lifting you up. You have to take in consideration there's another whole side of the country, you know. Um, Not everybody thinks the way you do, and you can't make them here in the United States think the way you do, you know. And you need to take a step back and look in the mirror and say to yourself, you know, do I want to be remembered as a good politician, or do I want to be hated by millions of people? You know, I guess it's each their own, as my mother would say. You got to take your background and look at it. You came from a barmaid. That's a really exciting job. I've been a bouncer, and I'll tell you what, it's nothing to be glorified about. You know, um, I just think that before you go making a little list there, Alexandria, you ought to really take and think about what you're doing here. It's okay to be involved with these groups, but you need to be proactive and start changing these groups and not following these groups. Because it looks like to me you're a follower, not a leader. You're following in what the narrative is and what the uh, left-wing news organizations are promoting, and they love to see you suck up to them. You know, I would think that I would pull back the reins a little bit, because there's people out there who will ruin your career. There is. They will find a way, and you should be promoting good instead of evil, because a lot of people are looking at you as kind of an evil person, um, myself included. When I see your name, I'm like, oh my God, not this girl again. She's barely out of her diapers. You know, she hasn't even got a clue. She's not really that smart. You know, um, she might have a good tongue and a good way of speaking now and then, but she's come out and said some really ridiculous things, and people look at her and go, "Really? Where'd you get that?" You know. Um, so basically, that's A.O.C. You know, A.O.C. I mean, I can obviously see you tried to put in the effort to learn, but you got to be careful on what you say in public. Sometimes it's better to be a little quiet and let people. Well, how's it go? Uh, Sometimes it's better to sit back and be shy and appear stupid than open your mouth and relieve all doubt. And basically, you and I guess you got the squad, I guess they call it, uh, Omar and Presley and Talib, I guess it is. You know, all you girls have been seen in public at one point or another, uh, acting like total children. You know, I mean, really? Come on. You can do better than that. You know, let's have some pride. You're living in the most powerful nation in the world. Have a little pride, you know, because if you don't have a little pride, these people are not going to continue to follow you. You're scaring a lot of people with your socialist and your defund the police, and they're not just Republicans. There's a lot of Democrats out there that are a little shy in you guys, and eventually someone's going to come along and you're going to get taken out in some way that you don't want to be taken out, or remembered in a way that you don't want to be remembered. You know, just a little piece of earth to think on there. You know, um, Well, that's pretty much all I got to say about it. I'm going to do some more research on it, and then maybe we'll come back and visit that again. What do you think? You know, um, I'm just thinking that you ought to pull back the reins on that horse and work on being a better person. Thanks.